Hi, this is Dr. Cheneys, and today I want to address President Trump. I want you to trust your own instincts. They were right on. Do leave Syria. We do not need to be in Syria. The reason I say that is because I was in Syria before the war just started, and I warned the CIA and I warned our military intelligence not to go in. Of course, CIA went in, and during the Obama administration, Biden, Obama, Kerry, Brennan, and others didn't listen to what I had to say. But Syria, I found to be very advanced. Number one, Bashar Assad is a physician, an ophthalmologist. If you want to send an envoy there, I would strongly recommend that you send Dr. Rand Paul, who's also a board-certified ophthalmologist and particularly believes in what you and I believe in, which is no more wars. He can work with Assad, who's also the ophthalmologist. Number two, don't listen to your critics. First of all, Mitt Romney doesn't have any experience in war. As a matter of fact, we call him a chicken hawk because when he was drafted into Vietnam several times, he refused to serve and ran immediately to Paris as a Mormon missionary. Now, I happen to like the Mormons. I worked with Brent Scowcroft. I worked with a lot of CIA operatives who are Mormon. I have never met a more cowardly Mormon in my life than Mitt Romney. And not only is he a coward, of course, he's despicable as an individual, as a senator, and as a businessman. And then let's talk about the other critics. Liz Cheney, the daughter of the most treasonous, cowardly American I have ever met, and the one Nixon couldn't stand, the one Kissinger couldn't stand, the one I couldn't stand. None other than Dick Cheney, the biggest coward and treasonous individual in the history of the United States. He was drafted not once, but 11 times to go to Vietnam, and 11 times Mrs. Cheney, Liz Cheney's mother, and Dick Cheney were able to avoid the draft, yet nevertheless he sent us to Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, and all the wars, but he was too cowardly. So I wouldn't listen to Liz Cheney. So the key aspect here is to do exactly what you said. The Kurds will not be killed. First of all, Erdogan is receiving $6 billion from us and from the European continent because we do not want any North Africans to go into Greece. And guess what? Erdogan is doing our bidding. At the same time, you give Erdogan some more money and he will not get involved with the Kurds. The Kurds will be safe. If you fear that anything is going to happen to the Kurds, then allow them to establish themselves in Europe, in Norway, Sweden, England, France, Spain, Italy. There's a lot of places to go. At the same time, if everybody's afraid of the 10,000 terrorists that were held in Syria, then let us concern ourselves about another place where they can be placed and no one is in danger. That could be Australia. Australia is so large. Guess what? It's one of our closest allies, and they can easily absorb 10,000 ISIS members in the middle of their country. And by the way, we have more camels in Australia than we have in the Middle East. So I think the terrorists will be very comfortable in Australia as well as New Zealand, since they're our good allies. But in fact, what you said is correct. We spent a fortune in that war. We spent a fortune to get the Kurds on our side. Now it's time for the Europeans, Russia, Iran, Egypt, United Arab Emirates, the Saudi Arabians, and Israelis to handle this problem because that's their regional concern. It's not our concern. So I want you to go with your own instincts. You are absolutely correct not to want to get involved in the war anymore and to withdraw our soldiers from Syria, from Iraq, from Afghanistan. And the ones who contradict you, by the way, are the ones who are ineffectual, are generals who never won a war. Let me remind you of this simple aphorism. It takes 6 minutes to start a war and 6 years to get out of a war. Thank you, Mr. President. Good luck and good night.